Another day, another video. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today we are watching Legacies. This is episode 15 of season 3. Hopefully guys are enjoying the series so far. We are on the second to last episode of this season, which means this is obviously the last time you can get to vote for your most liked and disliked characters before we reveal it in the final episode of the season, episode 16. Now you can still vote after episode 16 obviously, but my votes obviously won't be able to check yours when we get into the finale, so make sure if you're watching it early to get voting below, because I can't wait to see everybody's opinions. And I think the dislike character this season is going to be really hard. I don't think anybody's had a bad season, to be honest, and it's just going to be who was maybe pulled out a little thing here and there that's been kind of annoying, or maybe it's just like a, you know, like lick your finger and put it in the air, like you just don't care, do you know what I mean, to pick any name. Now obviously picking the favourite characters, that'll be obviously to your pleasing, which one has entertained you the most, and that is the one that I'm always looking forward to see, because each season mine seems to change, and I think it might do again this season, so I'm really excited. But last episode, yeah, Finch, she challenged Jed to see if she could be the new alpha of the pack, because he wasn't showing her much respect, was he? And she was having none of it. She was being left to pretty much do all the dirty work after they'd been in the gym, play basketball. He was knocking around the floor and stuff. They was throwing all the towels at her, you know, it's like, oh, it's a newbie's person to, like, clean up after him. She's like, I'm having none of this, you know what I mean? Like, I'm either going to challenge you to be the alpha, do you know what I mean? I'm not having none of this crap. And in the rules, the alpha, they have to accept a challenge. Now Jed was saying he's not going to fight a woman, you know, which is really interesting, because I understand his concept, but it doesn't make sense, because if he couldn't fight a woman, then there'd be no female alphas, would there? And we all know that we have some good female leaders. Just look at Haley, she was an absolute dominant alpha. And so she challenged him, which is weird. She challenged him to a game of pool, and she was dominating him, absolutely dominating him. She was about to 8-ball him, and then she looked at him and she realised that this means loads to him, mate. He was looking absolutely devastated, and she realised that she only wanted to win because she just didn't want the disrespect to happen. But she didn't really care about being a leader, where it meant so much to him, so she threw the game. And it kind of worked in her favour, because he got a bit of respect for her. He realised that obviously people should be treated different, and the rules that they was using, or the methods that they was going through, is in the past, mate. You need to adapt to move forward. So I do like it. At the end of the day, got the result that we was looking for. Hope, again, was very interesting. Well, she was actually tricked by Joseph to go meet Lizzie, who has been lost for ages, and he wanted, you know, she was concerned that we need to go and find her, and they used a locate spell, and it turned out she was in like some weird cult place, all zen and all calm, and you know, it looked like it was the perfect place for her to be honest, to get her back into calmness. But it turns out the person that was acting in charge, yeah, she was working for Triad, and she was rubbing like this this liquid on her gloves, and every time she touched somebody, it changed their mood, made them actually get, like, you know, well, proper zen, but kind of worship this person. And she was obviously trying to get and recruit so many people, so many magic, so she could do a sacrifice, because at the start of the episode we seen she was tied up. Clark went over, offered her a deal, and the deal obviously was to do this, get the sacrifice, draw enough power, and throw it into the pit. Well, Hope fell into the spell, so did Josie, but Lizzie snapped out of it. Then she snapped Josie out of it. Then he went over, and obviously they realised the way to snap out of it is you need to say the home truth, you need to start feeling again. The way Lizzie done it to Josie was saying that, you know, now you're back into being a sheep. Are you following everybody like you used to follow me? You know, you thought that you tried to leave the school and be independent, but now you're back again to obviously the Salvatore school, and you always need it, and you're always reliable and people. And she got mad, and then she clicked her back. Hope was Landon. Just had to keep saying Landon this, Landon that. He deserved to break up with you. You're part of the fault as well. You know you're never going to be together. That worked. She come back. She was ready to fight. She jumped over the banister. She took loads of people out. Then this woman threw the liquid onto him. She sacrificed herself. She dived in the pit. Then these three girls start hallucinating, dressed up as pandas and all that, which was mad, to be honest. It had no correlation to the story whatsoever, but it was hilarious, and it looked great and made me want a panda costume. And then some big dirty monster come out at the very end, looking like Darth Vader, and then it cut some. That was really exciting. I can't wait for today's episodes. If you guys are excited too, please smash the like, really helps out. Subscribe if you're new. And as always, let's jump in to the next episode of Legacies. It does remind me a bit of Star Wars. You see it, look, with the Darth Vader thing.
We're still tripping, aren't we? Some sort of android? So access your memory banks or whatever and find an escape pod.
Escape pod 94.
Oh wow, she looks so good. Wow. Got to say, sick, mate. This is definitely going to be a Star Warsy episode. Now, I have to say, this show makes references to a lot of shows. Now, to me, to mention other shows, I always thought you'd have to have permission and pay a lot of money. Now, I know that they only drop in Hogwarts stuff and Harry Potter. They drop in so many Harry Potter stuff. Voldemort, Hogwarts, Quidditch, you know, like literally I drop it in all the time. They talked about Twilight a few times. They do a lot of things that are other shows trademark. Like this here, yeah. I'm sure the episode's called A New Hope, which is obviously, that's kind of like I'm sure that's a Star Wars name. Also, like I said, the guy who's a baddie who come out the pit in the last episode looks like Darth Vader. They're in space now, Star Wars style. The music, the costumes, the shooting of the guns. They must pay a lot of money and commit to these episodes, which I do enjoy. I love it, mate. I would rather somebody go all in and it be shite than somebody just beating around the bush and doing terrible stuff. So I give them credit for it.
At least we learned something. You're clearly not
Right,
programmed.
I'm well
for
excited.
I still got us here in one piece. Princess Elizabeth Saltstar, and I'm JO513, your android sister?
Don't make another move. That salvage is mine.
How the hell did I just say that?
We're still tripping, aren't we?
I like the continuity.
Why. Feeling about this.
What's good, Caleb?
This book, I'm trying to concentrate on.
After I'm settled in, you want to hang out?
Busy, like all day.
So I'm assuming that this is some sort of shared hallucination. All that matters is that we find a way to hop off of this ridiculous acid trip. Are you forgetting that Andy completed a ceremony that was supposed to raise an old god or whatever? I'd rather not be asleep when that shows up.
Shared hallucinogenic experiences are a common side effect of nightshade, which can trigger a journey of spiritual enlightenment on a vision quest. So the sooner we finish the story, the sooner we can wake up.
How do we find this guy?
I don't know, don't look at me.
Dude.
I do know.
The only weapon that can kill Lord Marshall, which my spies tell me is located on planet Mystic Falls.
We find Dad, who's probably located the weapon, use it to beat the bad guy, and then we're out of here.
See, right, did you see that then, that little hologram that popped up there? I always think, mate, in the future we're going to have that with our watches or something. You can press it and you can see somebody. Or you have it in your phone, so you hold it up like that and you get the hologram. And you see it in future, well, you see it in futuristic TV showy things, but like, that will soon become a thing. I reckon something like that because, mate, in the space of when I was in school to now, we had phones that was black and white. Now that makes me sound like I'm from the 60s, like, but the screens were tiny, you had to press buttons, you know, like, it wasn't on the physical touchscreen phone, you tapped the buttons, you know, if you're spelling your name, you'd click the key in a few times, and you had to pay per text, so that is where everyone started texting, like, I don't know, like TTYL, like talk to you later and stuff, like, because you was trying to conserve your characters, because obviously you had to pay every time you sent it, but it's mad how much technology advances, and you know, again, just with the Star Wars references, mate, The Mandalorian is supposed to be a sick show, and I've not seen it at all. And I think I seen a trailer actually released yesterday or something about another Star Wars show that's coming out. So I don't know, should we jump on the Star Wars wagon? Like, I don't know much about Star Wars. I just watch films one time. Like, I only ever watch films once unless it's on TV again. So, like, I watch it, say, oh, I liked it, I didn't like it, but I don't know the full origins and the backstories and all the characters. So I'd just be blank slating going in it again, me, like, absolute rookie. But I'll be interested because everyone loves it.
Any word for Cleo?
Not yet, but at least the monsters don't seem to be after her anymore.
I got a term paper, but I'm way ahead.
Good, because if you are free, I've got something Wendigo related that I'd like you to do.
But I heard you were looking for me, Dr. Saltzman.
Indeed.
How do we know your father's here?
I don't know, it's just like a hunch.
What's the password?
GANDALF, the number 4 EDA.
Wait, how do you know the password?
Because I may have written this story.
Wow, this is getting really more interesting.
I don't know, Lizzie. Why don't you tell us what we're drinking?
Drink whatever you want.
Can we have a minute? I am so good at cleaning up your messes.
Let me unplug you.
I'm sorry, you're... No, I've got to stop doing that.
Do we meet your father here or something?
We didn't order these.
Table in the back. I'd be careful around that guy if I were you.
The bad boy who breaks good in my story.
Am I the only one that noticed that it's actually Ethan?
But we didn't know Ethan wrote the story.
Well, we're not kids in it either.
So you can go ahead and drop that bad boy.
You said like 2 words to me the whole way here. You're obviously mad at me. Do you want to talk about it?
Bro, just dig.
Then if you're really not mad at me, let's camp out here tonight.
Lance Corporal Jedediah Tian reporting for Wendigo duty.
Oh, he saved the day for him anyway.
Easy, soldier.
Hey, thanks for letting me tag along. I know things have been a little rocky with us lately.
Don't mention it. Caleb certainly did not.
I wasn't expecting.
What I've got to say with that is, though, is that Jed situation is the same as the Caleb situation. You know, MG's in a position where he didn't want Jed there, and Caleb's in a position where he didn't want MG there. So it's because of similarities. But when it gets resolved, all 3 of them together as a unit, it'd be much better.
I was hoping we'd finally meet on this mission.
So you got my hypertexts.
Everyone.
Dr. Saltzman might have already found the weapon and left.
Did you just say Saltzman? Oh, there's an old Rick Saltzman that lives out on the rim.
Saltstar and old Rick Saltzman might just be the same person.
Can we just have his address?
I think we're done here. Ninjas in space.
I was 11. I had a ninja phase.
Magic growth.
Oh, for the love of God. Let's go. Let's go.
Oh, get that in here.
Can't help but feel a little responsible.
And you should, because this is all your fault, Rick.
Alaric Saltzman, haven't you done enough damage already?
You have to play along, mate. You have to have the pro of it. You have to go along with it. Oh, look at his beard.
Us too, Dad.
Girls,
So where have you been for the last 8 years?
has it been that long? Not all pew 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 and heroic speeches. I'm sorry, my work took me away from you.
Well, they're literally following in your footsteps.
You're looking for the Star Sword. Found out that weapon can only be wielded by the Chosen One. But if you do manage to find it, you'll bring it to me, right?
What the hell was that all about?
I remembered something about Dad, something about his story. We were kids, and you were having trouble navigating your emotions. I didn't understand why. So I read your diary to see what was wrong. Lizzie made herself the chosen one, her own story, so all we have to do is find out who the bad guy is.
Here we go. I'd love Lizzie to be the actual chosen one in this
They just have
episode.
guns.
No, it's not her.
Well, at least that's a halfway decent twist.
Give it Josie.
This is the part where we realize who betrayed us.
Sorry, girls. Lord Marshall's plan are far better than mine ever was.
Gotta say though, Rick's beard looks decent. Season 1, and he's got no beard in that one, and it looks madness. You know what I mean? When you first get his beard, you're like, wow, look at his beard. And then you get so used to it, and when you shaved it off, you're like, bloody hell, mate. Like, he looks so different. He looks like a totally different person. But also, I do love the twist that it's not Hope being the chosen one, because it's always Hope. So, I mean, the episode's called A New Hope or something, so I kind of assumed it was going to be. But I'm well happy that it's going to be someone else. Who it is, no idea.
If only there was a way we could have seen this coming.
Couldn't handle the scary parts, so I skimmed them so I wouldn't have nightmares.
I
was 11.
was 11.
Here's what I don't get. Why would you create a story where your father betrays us?
Josie was right. I was going through a lot. And deep down, I was afraid that we couldn't count on him. It was a choice between us and you. He would always take your side. Didn't know what you were doing here. Because you're supposed to be the one inside that suit of armor.
I think it's got a little out of hand, that's all.
Oh, and which part specifically got out of hand, huh? You're drawn to high-risk situations, and your gravity pulls other people along with you.
Now, your husband volunteered for this, okay?
No, we
And
don't
he's
throw him under the
thrilled
bus.
to get out from behind his desk and go fight a Wendigo.
Get a doctor. His wound opened up again. He won't stop bleeding.
I just buried an entire Wendigo by myself, so let's get real. You're mad because I left?
No, Milton, I'm mad because of what you did after you left. You could have exposed the whole school. At least I did something while you were being Switzerland. You said you buried that Wendigo, right?
Guess I shouldn't be surprised.
What the hell?
If you
Is it
haven't
not a
read that
Wendigo?
story.
Thought that you hated us. Felt invisible. I started acting out and I needed so much attention from Josie.
If I'm here, then who's in the armor?
I backed us into this corner and never finished writing it.
Oh, hey, mate, that's fucking sick.
I'm Hope Marshall, and I'm here to rescue you.
Tell you what, mate, I'm giving that a fucking round of applause. You won my favourite character of season 4. You're an absolute beast to me. It's well good. Look at her, she's older now. That's well good. What a good bit of nostalgia that is.
This is where I lived and plot my revenge on the Galactic Dominion.
I wrote a sequel to your story.
Oh, no
Is there
way.
anyone in this freaking galaxy who has not read my diary?
I did overhear Josie talking about it to the other witches. That's why I had a tantrum and I set the woods on fire. Plus, it's sad and embarrassing.
As embarrassing as Dak Romo.
Mate, she is getting laughed at in the back in the day in the present.
If you're hungry, we can make food. You're not a service model. That's just a disguise. You're actually an Omega level defense unit. And you're Princess Saltstar, smarter than everyone thinks.
Oh, I'm just a scavenger, like you.
I'm more than that.
Before we fight anything, we need to figure out what's in that armor.
It's the Hollow.
That little arsehole who sent the boys on a downward spiral and ended up obviously sacrificing himself for Hope to be in this position. I hope she does get revenge, because we didn't actually see anything. Well, we've seen Klaus sacrifice himself with the Hollow inside. So, I mean, but I want to see Hope get it. And also, let's say, I hope that the girls took what I took, that this is Hope's story, and Hope wrote that those two girls were sick. Do you know what I mean? She wrote that Joseph was like some sick combat robot, always there to protect people. And then she also wrote that that Lizzie is much smarter than people give her credit for. I like it. So in Hope's story, she's wrote one that the Hollows are bad at, and the two sisters are actually stronger and more powerful than they believe themselves to be. So again, that is very good from Hope. It's showing that as a side of her back in the day when he was 11, when they was disappointed with Hope taking away the dad in their life, and they're getting a bit of resentment towards her, that in her story she's writing about them being like decent people, and maybe she's on this side wanting to integrate with them, and they're on that side like jealous of her. That's really good. I'm liking the story. It's really good.
Maybe we buried it wrong. What is it saying there?
It's a setup. The whole thing's a setup. Doc S sends us on a monster mission where the body suddenly just disappears. Y'all hear that? We're on to you, Doc. The mission's about trying to get us to like each other again.
Why is that a bad thing?
Mate, his absence hurt him much, mate.
Took over my body once, made me do terrible things. But now that you're here, we can fight it together. The three of us can be best friends and start our own coven.
The Hollow's already been defeated. By your father.
Why is the Galactic Dominion still here?
Because I'm afraid of something else now.
Let's talk about this.
Summers.
Little Hope, slow down. Do know a secret way inside.
Great. It should take us 3 days to get there on foot.
I've had a change of heart.
Makes sense. Of course, Dad was always going to be the hero in Hope's story.
Hop in. This rig doesn't look like much, but she'll get us there in no time.
It reminds me kind of Jumanji as well.
Give me a lift back.
After everything I said to you?
What about Jed? He can walk.
MG would never leave a man behind.
Oh, that's well good. That is sick, mate. It's got to be landed in this match, surely. Mate, took that out rapid.
Modus.
Yeah, I love it when they do that. It dominates him. Oh, that looks sick.
You killed the Hollow.
No, I didn't. That's what this vision quest was about. The way we can finally defeat Malivore.
I had to become the Tribrid.
Ah, fucking, that is what I'm talking about. Ah, so it's a vision, she knows it. That's so good. Oh, mate, I'm well excited now. She's acknowledging it as well.
Alright, who needs a brewski?
Absolutely.
Season finale next Thursday. It's lying. It's tomorrow.
Why do you always think I'm sticking my neck out for you? It's because I know that you're gonna be one of those brothers that changes the world one day.
That is good.
I guess I just thought, be me by your side. I'm glad you're back. I think I might have caught feelings for somebody while you were gone.
Cleo?
Hypothetically. Not as bad as Jay got a list of chain.
It's not too soon, mate. Not with your mates. Absolutely brilliant.
Timing's about right.
Mate, if you can't burn your mates and stuff, that's happened to him. I love the third wheel. That is what Jed needs, though. He's so much better like this Jed than the one that's trying to dominate his alpha.
All wounds have been healed. I'd like to heal the one between you and me. I put myself in dangerous situations, and the people I care about get caught up in them. That is the kind of thing we're gonna keep coming up against. At least we're doing it together. But if you want me to stay away from him, keep him out of it.
I no longer think that's possible, but I am going to make sure he doesn't lie to me about it again.
The show is better with Dorian in. Do you not think? I do think it's better.
Some stupid story you two wrote when we were kids doesn't mean anything in it is actually going to happen.
Well, if the whole reason I exist is to defeat Malivore, at what point do I stop fighting it and just accept it? And if I have to become a tri-bred, it's like I'm stuck in that trauma forever.
I'm still a work in progress, but I'm definitely a better version of Lizzie Saltzman. And Josie has become stronger. There's no reason why you can't be whatever you want to.
Because I do feel responsible for every time a monster comes along, because I know that I'm the only one that can stop it. For once, I just wanted to love someone and not lose them, you know?
We won't let that happen.
Panda promise.
He's gonna die, ain't she? But I'm all game, mate. I like Clark. Do you know what I mean? I have been consistent. I've never had a problem with him. I actually think that every time he's in it, he makes it interesting. And that's the thing. You can have characters that are like a baddies, that are like so annoying, like Greta, that you just want out the show. And you got people like him who always like gives you a bit of information. You're always guessing, you know, like what's he here for? Is he doing this? Is he going to help them? Is he not? He twists and turns every time, you know. That's why I didn't mind the Necromancer. He was entertaining to watch. He was entertaining. He was fun. This guy is more knowledge. He gives you loads of information and then you digest it and then you try and guess what's happening. Different types of it. Now, I don't mind him at all. I knew that he'd come back. I just knew he was. I'm sure like they said something like Malivor's kids or something can't die or something like that. But he did get his head chopped off, didn't he? Now, obviously, the sacrifice must have been her life for his life. That's how he got resurrected. But it was a good episode. I did enjoy how we had loads of Star Wars references with kind of the same name as well, and obviously relating to Hope in the present. And she's acknowledged that she needs to be a tri-bred, but then at the end there, they kind of like Panda promise or whatever, and like Pinky sworn that they're going to be together and defeat Malivore as three of them, not one of them, and then kind of insinuating that's not going to happen. But I think it's going to happen. Can't wait for it to happen. I think that when it does, it's going to be an unreal episode. So yeah, today's one was very good. Definitely different. I tell you what, right, it must be so good to be a cast member on this show because every episode is totally different. You don't know what you're getting. You're constantly put in different environments, different outfits, different scenarios, and it'd be so fun to do. Do you know what I mean? You don't want to be going to work doing the same thing over and over and over again. You want to be going, if I was an actor going into work, I want to be around it with the same people, having the same fun, but having just so much banter and so much like excitement and fun stuff. That's where if you go to Lucifer, the episode when he done the singing one, I absolutely loved it. It was amazing. Not many, it don't float everyone's boat, but I bet they buzzed off it in that episode. And it's just one of those things where you come in, you do something new every day, and it's keeping you going, keeping you engaged, keeping you entertained. And that's what it is for me. Last episode, they went to this camp, totally different, never seen it before. Boom, this one, Star Wars theme, totally different. This is a big thing. I would credit this show massively with not knowing what's coming in the next episode, and I think that is one big positive that this show has over many, that it's not the same. The concept of the characters and defeating Malivore might be the same, but the episodes are never, ever the same as the last, which is, to me, a big positive. Okay, and that is going to wrap up episode 15 of season 3. That does mean the next one is the finale. So, if you haven't voted for your most liked characters and disliked characters of this season, please do in the description, because in the next one, I'll cast mine I'll show yours, and we will have an amazing little poll that we can discuss. So this episode, as I previously mentioned just then, the little outro, to me was very good. I liked it. You know, it's totally different. One of the most positive things in the show is how different it is. And I like how we dived into Lizzie's story, and then we transitioned into a Hope story. And before I forget, let's give original Hope a massive clap, because how nice was it to see, you know, she done amazing in the originals, and then she was like decast, and Hope, this one, was recast or whatever. Not because she was a terrible one, just because we advanced in the storyline like massively. And she looks well older now. Literally, I don't know how long it's been since obviously the shows have been recorded, but she looks really old, and it was good to see. I actually really enjoyed it. You know, what a good little thing to throw in there. See, I always think, right, they missed the trick, me, like dropping people in. Like when the show started, we had Matt in it like 2 episodes, and we had Jeremy in it once, and I think we had Freya in it once. But that's it. I don't want the show to revolve around them, because this is Legacies. It's not the originals. It's not the Vampire Diaries. But if we can ever drop a character in, I would go for it, even for 1-2 minutes, just for us to be like, this Hope, get in there. You know what I'm saying? Let's be honest, right? Now I'm on the reminiscent track. How the hell has Caroline not been in the show yet, mate? We're on episode 15 of season 3. We're on season 4 in real life, in the present, like 3 episodes in. Like, what the hell is going on, mate? How has she not been in the show? It's madness. But in terms of, obviously, this episode, because we're not talking about the past, it's really good. We start with Lizzie's story. You know, she had Hope written as, like, I don't know, I won't say a bad person, but her story is kind of saying, look, mate, you know, any time that we had to rely on our dad, when you was introduced, it didn't really happen. He always picked your side. You know, when you was introduced into our life, we was pretty much become redundant, because he focused all his energy on you because he didn't know what was going to happen. That we was left to fend for ourselves pretty much. And then we flipped it over into Hope's story, and then she wrote the twins as like decent people. She was like, Lizzie, mate, you're so much smarter than like people give you credit for. You should have more confidence in yourself. And Josie, you know, like, you're an absolute beast, you're a warrior, you're a fighter, and you've got so much more skills that you can give. I like it, you know. Hopefully they got the perspective. Well, it seems like it worked anyway, because at the end there, they're like a little team now, aren't they? A little tribal team themselves. Pinky swearing, I'll save you, you know what I mean? Don't need to activate your vampire curse. Nope, don't do that. It was only you in your story defeating Malivore. But guess what? There's 3 of us now. We can work together. We're a team. It doesn't always have to go down that avenue. You know, you can stay how you are, and we can work as we are. So I'm interested to see. Still want Hope to die, clearly. I don't know why anybody wouldn't, because it means he's going to come back as a tribid, and who wouldn't want to see all of her powers, you know, on the show? And like she said as well, mate, she is the only one that defeats every single monster that comes, literally every single monster that comes, apart from the Wendigo, she defeats, and she is the chosen one. Even though she wasn't chosen one in Lizzie's story, which is very, very interesting, because she did get the sword and it didn't work, but obviously in her own she was. So again, that was interesting. Caleb was obviously giving MG the cold shoulder all episode, and like, now he's friends with Jed, and obviously MG's like, what's going on, mate? You give me a cold shoulder and you're friends with Jed? You don't even like Jed. Well, Jed's part of your crew, mate. Accept it, because when he's together like this, Jed's pretty funny. He's third wheeling, you know, obviously. The Wendigo come back in the form of MG. Caleb sussed it out, you know. He said, like, what should we do about Jed? Yeah, just leave me, I don't really care. Well, that's your first mistake. I know that MG wouldn't leave anybody behind, regardless of who it is. Facts. The guy wouldn't leave anybody behind. And then he went after him and he was fighting. MG come along, as last episode, you know. He knew that the Wendigo had, what was it? A burn, an ice heart or something. So he set himself on fire. Boom, and put his hand in, you know what I mean? Took his ring off, put his hand in while he was on fire, pulled it out, melted his heart. Well, I don't know how it resurrected. I actually have no clue how it resurrected. They didn't even mention it, but it did come back. I think Jed actually said something in the book, like, when it's hungry, it dives into another person's body in the form that's near him or something. But still, I did see his heart melt last episode, but he was consistent with it. Again, MG stuck a fire pole in him, or whatever you call it, stick, and burnt him again, melted his heart. We haven't seen Landon or Cleo since they both said they was leaving, so that's very interesting. 2 episodes now, absent. But we did see Dorian, he was looking like he was going to die, but after they killed the Indigo, he's still alive. And then, obviously, Rick had a conversation with Emma. He was saying, look, mate, I need him. If you want him to stay, then please let him stay. We can always do with a second person on hand as part of the team. And Dorian is really good. Like I acknowledged, it is much better with him in the show because he's knowledgeable. Literally, like when he was in it at the start in the first few seasons or whatnot, they could rely on him to give the information. It's this. No, it's not, Rick. It's this. Good. We defeat it like this. Oh, no, it's not. Just a dragon episode, you know? Yeah, you have to kill it this way. Don't worry, Dorian, we've killed it. Well, you should know this information, mate. Like, the only way you can kill a dragon is X through its neck. You know, they thought that they could just stab it and take it out. But no, it was a jab to the neck. That was Dorian's information. So, again, he's very knowledgeable. He knows all different characters. He knows all different monsters. He knows how to take them out. And he's a good asset to the team. And I prefer him in the show with that. Do you know what I mean? Like, we have one adult, Rick, so far. I'm not saying, like, Dorian's the best guy in the world. But I'm just saying, having somebody else in there that Rick can bounce off and help and be, I don't know, just another adult figure to the school is a big bonus, in my opinion. So, we're going into the finale next, which will be, hopefully, a crazy one. If not, and it is, like I said, I believe that we did transition into the start of Season 4 as the back end of Season 3 because of COVID, then I'd be interested to see how it actually cut for everybody to wait before the new season started. It'd be very interesting. Hopefully it cuts on a massive cliffhanger or hope transitions and then she's just stood there growling or something and then it cuts, you know what I mean? Could be some mad stuff. I did like how we seen her eyes transition there or change over when she said she had to be the hybrid before she come back to the present. It's got me well excited because I know she is about to go down. So, if you're excited too, please smash the like. Really helps out the channel. Subscribe if you're new. As always, thank you very much. And I will catch you in the next one. Cheers, guys.